Help me reach 2,000 subscribers. I still remember the way Daniel looked at me that evening, as if my words had pierced through something fragile he'd been trying to protect. It started as nothing more than a casual joke over dinner. We had just finished our meal, and I was laughing about how exhausted I felt after another long day at the firm. I said, half serious, half playful, maybe I should just retire early and let you handle the bills for once. He froze. At first, I thought he was just pretending to be shocked, but his reaction was too real. His fork hovered midair, eyes darting away from mine, and a thin sheen of sweat began forming on his temple. I laughed, trying to lighten the moment, but the silence that followed stretched too long to be normal. Dan, I said softly. I'm kidding. He forced a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Yeah, I know. But I knew that look. After 12 years of marriage, I could tell when he was hiding something. His jaw tightened, his shoulders tensed, and his right hand nervously tapped the table, a habit I had seen only a few times before, usually when he was lying. I didn't push it right away. Maybe I should have. Instead, I let it go, pretending everything was fine. But that night, while he showered, I caught myself replaying the moment over and over again. Why would the idea of my retirement make him panic? The next morning, he left for work earlier than usual. He didn't even kiss me goodbye, which he never forgot to do. I stood by the window watching his car drive away, feeling a strange heaviness in my chest. Later that day, curiosity got the better of me. I logged into our joint email account to check some old tax documents, something I hadn't done in months. That's when I noticed something odd. There were multiple unread messages in his inbox from someone named Clara HR. First, I thought they were just work-related. But then one subject line caught my eye. Your upcoming early retirement arrangement. My fingers went cold. Early retirement? His retirement, not mine. A chill ran through me as I opened the email. And what I read next made my heart stop. The email was dated 3 weeks ago. It wasn't from his company's general HR address, but from a personal-looking account linked to someone named Clara Jensen. The message was short but enough to shatter the peace I thought we still had. Daniel, as discussed, your early retirement package will be finalized once the funds are transferred to the secondary account. Please confirm confidentiality. We can't afford for anyone to find out yet, especially her. My name wasn't mentioned anywhere, but my heart instantly knew that her was me. The rest of the email chain revealed everything I was never supposed to see. Daniel wasn't retiring. He was resigning, cashing out part of his pension early, and planning to move abroad. The most painful part? Clara wasn't just HR. She was his colleague, and apparently much more than that. There were messages between them, not the kind that spelled out love in words, but the kind that whispered it in familiarity. Phrases like our new start, finally free, and I can't wait to see you without worrying who might find out. My stomach twisted. I felt a strange dizziness, like the floor beneath me had disappeared. All those nights he claimed to be staying late for project closures, all those mornings when he left too early, it all started making sense. My husband wasn't just hiding money, he was hiding a double life. When he returned home that evening, I didn't confront him immediately. Instead, I watched him. I watched how easily he smiled, how naturally he asked about dinner, and how his voice trembled just a little when I said, I was thinking about retirement again. He looked up sharply, then forced a laugh. Still on that? Yeah, I replied calmly. Maybe sooner than you think. The rest of the night I barely spoke. I could feel the tension thick in the air. After he went to bed, I sat alone on the couch, the glow of my phone screen reflecting on the tears I didn't realize had fallen. I clicked through the emails again, slower this time, catching details I missed before. A bank account number, a mention of a date, and a city, Lisbon. Lisbon, the same city he once said he'd love to retire in someday. The pieces began to align like shards of broken glass. He wasn't planning a surprise. He was planning an escape. The next morning I woke up before dawn. Daniel was still asleep beside me, his breathing calm, his arm loosely draped over me as if everything in our world was normal. For a few seconds I let myself believe it, the warmth, the familiarity, the illusion. Then I quietly slipped out of bed and made myself a cup of coffee, my mind rehearsing the words I needed to say. By the time he came downstairs, dressed for work, I was ready. Dan, I said, my voice steady. Who's Clara? The color drained from his face so fast that it almost scared me. He blinked rapidly, trying to process what I just said, then gave a weak chuckle. She's from HR. Why? Because HR doesn't usually send emails about our new start or transferring funds to a secret account, I replied, sliding my phone across the table. The screen showed the email thread in full. His eyes widened. For a long moment he said nothing. Then his shoulders slumped, and he let out a shaky sigh. I was going to tell you, he murmured. I just didn't know how. Tell me what? I demanded. That you've been planning to disappear with her? That you were going to take everything we built and leave me with nothing but an empty house? He didn't answer. The silence between us was deafening. I felt something shift inside me. Not rage, not sorrow, but clarity. I'd spent years believing our marriage was unshakable, that loyalty was a promise he'd never break. But now, staring at him, I realized he'd already left long before his suitcase ever would. You don't have to worry about explaining anything, I said finally, rising from my chair. Retirement's not for me anymore. But it looks like it's exactly what you're about to get, permanently. His brow furrowed. What do you mean? I mean, I said, walking toward the door, I forwarded everything to your company's board before you woke up, including your secondary account. I think they'll be very interested in that. The color drained completely from his face. You didn't. I smiled faintly. You once said you admired how calm I stayed during crises. Guess now you know why. As I left the house, a strange peace settled over me. The betrayal still burned, yes, but so did something else, a quiet sense of power. For the first time in years, I wasn't the woman waiting for answers. I was the one walking away with them. And maybe, just maybe, that was my real retirement from him.